Oh, I'm excited about today's Bible story. Hi there, my name is Erica, and I want to welcome you to the Bible for Busy People. Today's episode is called Another in the Fire Part 1. We're going to be diving into one of the coolest stories in the Bible. Yeah, you just found yourself smack dab in the middle of a series called Fire Stories in the Bible. We're finding over and over that God walks with us through the fire. But this is the time he actually physically walked through a fire with his people. And we're going to see this story unfold today and next time. And I am jazzed, psyched up, stoked, like a fire where somebody's just thrown newspaper in it to make it get hotter and higher. I am stoked to share God's word with you, especially today. You ready to do this? Okay, we are going to dive into Daniel chapter 3. Here we go, verse 1. King Nebuchadnezzar built a gold statue 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide. That is super tall and super wide, actually. And set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then he sent messages to the high officers, officials, governors, advisors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all the provincial officials to come to the dedication of the statue he had set up. Pretty much, he sent out an email to everyone. If somebody hit reply all, oh my goodness. All right. So, all these officials came and stood before the statue King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald shouted out, "People of all races and nations and languages, listen to the king's command. When you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and other musical instruments, bow to the ground to worship King Nebuchadnezzar's gold statue. Anyone who refuses to obey will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace." Okay, that's pretty terrifying, right? What if you're a follower of the one true God? What happens then? So at the sound of the musical instruments, all the people, whatever their race or nation or language, bowed down to the ground and worshiped the gold statue that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. But some of the astrologers went to the king and informed on the Jews. They said to King Nebuchadnezzar, "Long live the king! You issued a decree requiring all the people to bow down and worship the gold statue when they hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and other musical instruments. That decree also states that those who refuse to obey must be thrown into a blazing furnace. But there are some Jews, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, whom you have put in charge of the province of Babylon. They refuse to serve your gods and do not worship the gold statue you have set up." Tattletalers, right? Then Nebuchadnezzar, not the statue, the real dude, flew into a rage and ordered that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought before him. When they were brought in, Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you refuse to serve my gods or to worship the gold statue I have set up? I will give you one more chance to bow down and worship the statue I have made when you hear the sound of the musical instruments. But if you refuse, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace." Okay, that is super terrifying. And then what God will be able to rescue you from my power? Good question, King Nebuchadnezzar. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown..." Listen to this. We have two takeaway verses today because they're so powerful, it's impossible to separate them. Let these words stoke your faith right now. Verse 17. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty. Verse 18. But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, your majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up. My friend Lindsay, she's precious to me. She has a tattoo on her forearm and it says, even if there was a prayer of her heart that she went many years praying before God answered it. And boy, did he answer it in a mighty way. But that was her way of reminding herself, even if my heart's desire doesn't come true, Lord, I will still worship you. I know you can do this thing in my life. Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego just said, I know the Lord can rescue us, but even if he doesn't, we're still not going to worship your statue. And we will still worship the Lord. So tomorrow for part 2, next time of this incredible story, we're going to find out what happens. Get ready, because I'm telling you what, your faith is going to be stoked, I promise. All right, another fire story, part 2 of Another in the Fire next time. Till then, remember, you are loved.